Hello, my name is Mike Changelitis, founder of Cornerable Software. In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure Log Manager to consolidate event log entries from various servers to a central SQL Server database. The software includes an Onboarding Wizard, which is what I'm going to use to configure SQL Server. To open up the wizard, select Tools, Onboarding Wizard. Once you skip past the introduction page, you are prompted to assign Logon As credentials. In order to pull event log entries from remote sources, we need to assign the service with domain administrator credentials. If the server the service is running is not on a domain, then local admin credentials will suffice. I'm not on a domain, so I'm going to set up local administrator credentials. Once entered, click Update and Restart. If you look in the upper right corner, you will notice the connection icon briefly displays the disconnect icon while the service restarts and the console reconnects. Now that the service credentials are set, we can continue. The next tab is the Email Settings tab, which for this video is out of scope, so let's just skip past this step. The next tab is the Primary Data Provider Settings tab, which is where we need to change the default file system configuration to Microsoft SQL Server. Under the Type dropdown, select Microsoft SQL Server. Notice the name references the file system. If we click on the Generate Name button, the name is updated and now references SQL Server. Notice the role is set to Log Database. There are three roles: Log Database, Archive Log Database, and Auxiliary Log Database. The Log Database contains all of the latest consolidated log entries. The Archive Log Database contains older entries, for example, entries older than 14 days. Finally, Auxiliary Log Databases can be used to load older database backups for auditing and analysis purposes. Specify the host name your SQL Server is installed. The database name listed will be automatically created in a moment. Specify the authentication method to use, either integrated or SQL Server. I'm going to use integrated Windows authentication, which means the account the service is running under is used. If at a later time you find queries are timing out, you can increase the execution timeout here. Finally, click the Next button. Once the database and control tables are created, the wizard will advance to the Archive Data Provider Settings tab. Notice now the role is set to Archive Log Database. Under the Type dropdown, select Microsoft SQL Server, update the name, set the host name. Notice the database name is set to lm_archive. Specify the authentication method. Finally, click the Next button. The last step consolidates the application, system, and security logs from the system the service is installed to the log repository database we just configured. Click Next and we can verify the software is able to populate the database we just configured. We have now configured the databases. The Explorer view contains a node called Data Providers. If I expand the node, we can see the primary and archive log repositories. Expanding the primary log repository reveals all the hosts which logs have been downloaded. Further expanding, a host exposes the various logs that have been downloaded. If I right-click on a log and select Data Properties, we can see the table of statistics such as saved date range, number of entries, and data size. There are also level and source and event ID metrics. Okay, so let's take this to the next step and configure the software to download event logs from servers listed in Active Directory. Back in the Explorer view, just below the Data Providers node, we can see a Directory Services node. If you are on a domain, your Active Directory server should be automatically listed. If not, right-click on Directory Services and click New. Specify your server and path. Click the Generate Name button. Even though the service may be running with domain admin credentials, you likely will still need to provide login credentials. Specify your domain administrator credentials again, then click the Test button. If the software is able to connect, you should see a high-level list of organizational units. Once you have successfully configured the connection, click Save, then Close to close the window. We are now ready to import the hosts listed in Active Directory. Select File, New, Computer, Devices, and Endpoints. From the Add Host dialog, click Browse Active Directory. I already had a directory service configuration added, so the dialog automatically expanded the first connection in the list. Navigate to the OUs you would like to import hosts from. You can check as many groups as you like. Hosts will be imported in the same structure you select in AD, enabling the software to replicate the same structure you are used to seeing in AD. If necessary, you have the option to append a domain name to each host name. Once you have selected all of the hosts you would like to import, click OK. Back in the Explorer view, you can now see the hosts you just added. Now that we have added the hosts, the next step is to assign an event log consolidation template to the hosts. Templates contain configuration parameters such as the number of days to download and the frequency to download. The software comes pre-installed with an event log consolidation template that consolidates the application, system, and security event logs. I'm going to show you the pre-installed template, then assign it to the lot of new computers. Below the host node, you will find the templates node. Expand templates, sample templates, log consolidation. Right-click on event log consolidation and select template properties. Once loaded, we can see the General tab is used to assign a name, enable or disable execution, and the frequency to download event log entries. By default, this template downloads entries every hour and evenly distributes each download over the hour among the assigned hosts. For example, if you assign 60 hosts to this template, the software will download entries from a single and different server every minute. After 60 minutes, the first server will be downloaded again. The Logs tab is pretty self-explanatory. Use it to select the logs to consolidate. The Options tab enables you to assign a consolidation filter, which enables you to dump entries you are not interested in. You have several options here. If you have a heavily loaded domain controller, you may need to limit the initial download of the security event log to 1 day, then build the database from that point on. Otherwise, you may receive a quota violation. The batch download option is provided in an attempt to allow large security event logs to be initially downloaded. Again, this is an attempt to work around the quota violation. Finally, we want to select a retention policy. The retention policy is another template that defines the number of days to retain in the primary and archive log repositories. If we double-click on the assigned template, we can see the template properties. The schedule is set to daily. If I select the Options tab, we can see the policy is set to archive entries older than 30 days and retain archive entries for 120 days, for a total of 150 days. Back in the Event Log Consolidation template, if I click the Monitor tab, we have the option to add filters and actions to apply immediately after downloading. Event log monitoring is out of scope for this tutorial, so let's just skip past this step. The Push Template tab enables you to configure the software to install an agent on the remote machine, or if inaccessible, you can manually install the agent. Once installed, templates with this option selected are sent to the remote agents when they connect, and entries downloaded using a proprietary binary protocol that is approximately 12 times faster than WMI. This feature is also out of scope for this tutorial, so let's just skip past this step. The Actions tab enables you to get notified when there is a problem downloading entries such as a firewall blocking WMI, which manifests itself as an RPC server unavailable error. Now, we are finally ready to assign the host to the template. You have the option of manually assigning each host or assigning host groups. You can even assign the entire tree. When you are finished configuring the template, click Save, then Close. Back in the Explorer view, if we expand one of the new hosts, we can now see two templates assigned, Event Log Consolidation and Log Entry Retention Policy. The Log Entry Retention Policy is automatically assigned because the Event Log Consolidation template has a dependency on the Log Entry Retention Policy template. To see the Event Log Consolidation in action, right-click on the assigned template, then select Execute Verbose. Since the imported host is bogus, I'm going to select the server the service is installed on. Once complete, we can see the status information about the download. Finally, let's verify the log entries were actually downloaded. Back in the Explorer view, under the host we just downloaded the log entries from, expand the template, then right-click on a log and select View. You are prompted with some view options, which are fairly straightforward. You can choose level options, a filter to apply, paging options, either page by the number of entries or number of days. Then finally, the date to auto-advance to. Once I click OK, I can see the entries in the viewer. That's Event Log Consolidation with Cornerbowl Log Manager 2021. If you would like to get notified whenever we release a new video, please subscribe to our channel, and don't forget, if you like the video, please like it.